Well, Thanksgiving is less than a week away now. This year, it looks like people are ready to be in person once again after the coronavirus halted plans last year. A new Ipsos poll showed 49% of Americans are planning to be with people outside of their household this year. Now, that number is up substantially compared to last year in 2020, where 52% of people were celebrating with only their immediate household. So here to chat about this with us this morning is Mallory Newall, Ipsos Vice President. Thank you so much for joining us, Mary. So what role are vaccines playing in people celebrating together this year?
Thanks for having me. I think that vaccines are playing a huge role in people's plans. You know, as you just showed, our polling shows that the number of Americans that are planning to see people outside of the home compared to last year has more than doubled. And there's definitely this sense of, you know, it's time to reconnect with people around the dinner table.
So would you say, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be an easy question to answer necessarily, but the numbers of people gathering this year, is that getting closer to what we saw pre-pandemic?
I think it's hard to say because we never really had to measure this before the pandemic, right? You know, asking people how they were planning to gather, what precautions they were planning to take, if they expect people at the dinner table to be vaccinated, those weren't really questions that were applicable to our lives before 2020.
So overall, then, what would you say this polling shows? Is it, more about a level of comfort, or is it more driven by, maybe we have a little bit of COVID fatigue?
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. If you look at some of the other polling that Ipsos has done recently, we've been tracking people's perceptions of risk associated with COVID pretty much since the pandemic began. And we've seen that people's willingness to kind of accept more risk has grown, and their general perceptions of the risks that are associated with COVID have started to go down over time. Now, this fluctuated a little bit with Delta and some of the other new variants. But generally speaking, I think as more people are vaccinated and more people in their immediate circle are as well, there is definitely this sense that Thanksgiving is a little bit safer than it was last year.
And I have another question just about the poll in general, and people that are, willing to go with families that are outside of their immediate household. Are you seeing, differences as far as how far people are traveling maybe? Is it still, you know what I mean, still in the same state where regulations may be similar as far as masking and vaccine mandates?
Yeah, I think our poll shows that people are a little split, whether they're going to travel via plane, via car, or in their local area. And this poll was done a couple weeks ago, and so there were about 1 in 5 that still hadn't made up their mind yet. But I think that stat that was just shown on the screen is really striking. Of the people that do plan to see folks outside of their immediate household, over half assume that everyone at their gathering will be vaccinated. So there is, for many Americans, this inherent assumption that if you are gathering, that there's this expectation that you should be vaccinated.
Right. And I mean, this is a very touchy subject to be talking about over the Thanksgiving table. So hopefully when we get there are no problems. All right, Mallory Newall, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.